I think that a lot of times we women, we like to say, oh, the man, men are dogs and men do this and men do that. Y'all know women do the same damn thing. So don't even try that. You know what I'm saying? And half the time, the reason that we are suspicious of what y'all are doing is because of what we doing.
What's happening?
What's happening, bro?
Yeah, adjust my camera here. You see, I
All
got
right,
my.
can you see me okay? Can you see me okay?
Yeah, I can see you just fine.
Okay, great.
Let me see. Make sure I'm in the camera. You see, I got my second
I
Buffalo
see.
Sunday's best on.
Got your best church outfit
I
on.
got my little light over. I got a little ring light to make my teeth look bright. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, he got the
That is
curly right.
hilarious.
What's up,
Oh my
Jazz?
goodness. So what's up? What's going on? What you want to talk about today, bro?
So let me do my intro. So today, welcome to What's Up With You. I'm your host, Chels. What's up, Jazz? Appreciate
Hey,
y'all joining
Ted.
in. Today I have a guest who is very near and dear to my heart. She's my first best friend, my bigger little sister at Shenae, or at Bradley Shenae. And this should be a really fun and entertaining interview because I think in life you know people interpersonally, you know them really well.
Right.
But when you sit down in an interview setting, you may find out things about them that you didn't know.
Right, exactly.
Right. So let's start off with the basics. What's up with you?
Well, it's been a pretty busy day. Woke up, went to Walmart, and basically went into the office for the first time in about a year and a half, and so that was pretty interesting. I worked for National Academy of Sciences, meeting planner for them or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Was really good experience. One of my coworkers, her son passed away about a year ago, and so got an opportunity to basically talk to her and just basically get an appreciation for life. We talked or whatever, and she was telling me, she would always come into the office and she would have us dying laughing about her and her son or whatever. And it's just weird because, everything that she talked about, that she would complain about, she wished that he was there bothering her and getting on her nerves now. And so that just kind of, this was a really good day. Gave me a different perspective on a couple of things or whatever. And so it's been a really good day, productive day. And I'm just happy to be here.
Cool. Which you saying you today was your first day back in the office, right?
It was.
So let me tell y'all something, right? So for like the past, I don't know how long the pandemic been going on, 18 months. My sister has been.
He's a hater.
I'm not hating. That's not what I'm doing. I just want y'all to know that for the past 18 months, at least 2 or 3 times a week, she comes to me like, I don't know when I'm gonna have to go back to work. I don't know. Oh God, I'll go back in the office. She goes back in the office and it's like, oh, humans.
Yeah,
people.
right. Exactly.
I get to talk to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was cool.
Okay, cool. So who is Shenae? Like, who is Shenae?
Shenae? Shenae is a very down to earth person who thinks of her family before she thinks of anything else. My friends and my close friends, they mean the world to me. And so a lot of the things that I do, I do it for them. I'm all about family. Love my little nieces or whatever. And a great part of my life is spent, hanging out with them. And you guys saw the video that my niece Libby and I did a few days ago. And just in, kind of enjoying, I've actually just really started to enjoy really the adult part of my life. I think that my parents, they basically babied me for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And so shut up, Cello.
Still.
They did. And so for this last 2 years or whatever has really, it's been a learning experience. I'm starting to really learn how to live independently. And for those of you that don't know, I live in Cello's house, his other house or whatever. And so I'm learning how to, cope and strategize on basically how to just survive. And
Right.
it was a struggle at first or whatever, especially like, you know, with being lonely and always having my parents and things, and, you know, parents around and stuff like that or whatever. But now I'm getting to the point to where I'm really starting to enjoy. I'm really starting to enjoy living alone, and you know, I get in my moods where sometimes I don't want to be bothered or whatever. And but it's really really cool. You know, it's really really cool to really start to embrace adulthood. You know, and so that's
Right.
something that I'm definitely appreciative of. So
Yeah.
it's definitely been an experience.
Cool, cool. So like one of my personal beliefs is that everyone should live by themselves at least for a year.
Definitely.
You know, I lived by myself for a little while, you know, before getting married, in between, you know, living with our parents and
Right.
you know, getting married. And I think you really learn about yourself. You just learn a lot about yourself and who you are as a person in your ways. So I think it's
You
very
really
important
do.
to get that year or so by yourself. But that does kind of segue into another part of the conversation I wanted to have with you,
Okay.
which is like relationships.
Okay.
Um, what is your current relationship status?
My current relationship status is that I've been dating,
Okay.
um, and it's definitely so. The last year and a half has been really really strange for me. Um, I came out of a 3 year relationship, and to a really really wonderful guy. I think that, you know, the age difference definitely played a part or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
that they were really 9 good years of my life or whatever. And you know, he was a wonderful man, but I think that the age difference definitely played a big part. I don't think that I was basically mature enough to appreciate everything that he had done for me. You know what I'm saying? It was
Mm-hmm.
definitely a learning experience or whatever, and it definitely it helped me to grow up. And so when I got out, and you know, after being up under him the whole time or whatever, and you know, he was kind of like he was a protective type figure for me, always there, never had to ask for anything. Anything I always wanted, you know, he was always able to give it to me or whatever. And then to go from that to my mom, she got a kidney transplant, and they were here initially or whatever. So basically, I was kind of like just thrown out there, and
Right.
so I had to grow up. You know what I'm saying? In the meantime, while growing up, I've dated, and I'm not big on the whole dating thing. I would much rather be in a long-term
It's
relationship.
funny you say that, but I don't know if you can see the comments.
Okay.
But my homegirl Melissa, she's a poet. She's from South Carolina. I'm gonna have her on
Hmm.
the show too. And
Okay. Hey,
she
Melissa.
and she said dating seems to be a trip these days. So what is it about dating that makes it a trip? What is it about it that's bothersome?
Well, I wouldn't really say that. Well, okay. So it is bothersome, but I think that number one, I think that everybody has been hurt.
Okay, true.
Everybody has been hurt tremendously. It may have been one particular relationship. It could have been more than one relationship, but I think that everybody has been hurt to a certain extent. And so no one is willing to be vulnerable. No
Right.
one is willing to put themselves out there and say, okay, for this person, I'm willing to, just let it be what it is. And, you know what I'm saying? If I get hurt, I get hurt or whatever. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So I think that most people are afraid. I think that most people, are afraid of being alone. And so they make it a point they always have one, two, three, four, five different people that they're talking to.
Jesus.
And that's
They got a
that's
whole basketball team on the side.
that's just it. You have a basketball team so that, if, you got one person that you really like, if they're not available, on a Friday, hey, you call somebody else. And, I think that a lot of times we women, we like to say, oh, the man, men are dogs and men do this and men do that. Y'all know women do the same damn thing. So don't even try that. You know what I'm saying? And half the time, the reason that we are suspicious of what y'all are doing is because of what we doing. So I mean,
Mm.
yeah, I said it. It is what it is.
Mm.
No one is willing to just give their all to just that one person and take that chance. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely been something that's been hard for me. You know what I'm saying? After I got out of my relationship or whatever, there was one guy, and this was within the last year or whatever. It was a younger guy, and I'm willing to go all in. I'll put it out there. I think I was possibly in love with this dude. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think he was feeling me as much as I was him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so when it didn't work out, I was really, really hurt.
Right.
And so, certain things that went down in that relationship or whatever, I find myself taking that into my dating relationships now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One example is, it's so funny because a friend and I, we had a discussion the other day or whatever. And, so basically discussion was, well, I noticed that the guy I was dating or whatever, every weekend he was, he would, Shenae, can I wash these two things? Then the next weekend,
you say wash, like wash
can
clothes?
wash clothes? You know what I'm saying?
You want to use your washing machine?
Yeah, can I use your washing machine?
Right.
So then the next weekend, he got a load. He's bringing a load over. Next weekend, he want to throw 3 hoodies in there. Next weekend, he want to throw some sheets in there. I'm like, hold up, bro. Hold up. Nah, Joe. I mean, I'm starting to feel like I'm being used. Yeah, it is what it is. And so, you know what I'm saying? And so, and so kind of like, the new guy I'm seeing or whatever, he was like, I'm gonna bring something, you mind if I bring some over there? I'm like, what the hell
you got
bring it? You better bring some tripods or something when you come or whatever. And if you're coming next weekend, you better be ready to put some on that water bill.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just small things like that I think that we unfairly take into our relationships or whatever. We take into these new relationships, and it's just not fair. But it is what it is. It's a part of life. You know what I'm saying? And so that's kind of a thing with dating or whatever that those are aspects of dating that it's just like it's hard. It's really, really hard to trust new people, to get to know new people, because you just don't want to be vulnerable. And that's what it is.
Right. So that makes me think. So, y'all, for those of y'all who know me, I'm married. Right. I've been married for 6 years. We've been together for 16.
Forever.
Yeah, we've been together for a long time.
Right.
But so I have this idea, thought, whatever, that I can't really do. I think it would be really cool if a first date was to couples therapy. Right?
Wow.
And so I think that because what it does is it sets the tone for the relationship of being open. I interviewed my marriage counselor and my therapist last week, so it's not something that I just came up with out my mind. Like, I actually have a therapist and all of that, Dr. E.
Right.
But I think what going to therapy does, or couples counseling does, is if you were to go early on in the relationship, it sets the tone that we are going to be open with each other. We're going to be honest about our thoughts, our emotions, our opinions. And another thing it does is it allows you to unpack some of your negative aspects about yourself in front of that person off the break. That way we already know, what it is that we're kind of dealing with off the break, because we're really good at putting a mask on. Like, I'm cool, I'm sexy, and all of this and all of that. Yep, so I think that maybe that's a dating tip for the people out there. Maybe, find a therapist, whoever got the good health insurance, be like, yo, I just want to, come and sit down. Give me 1 second. I want to read something. My man, DJ Inkspin, Jessica Raquel said therapy is amazing and very necessary. And my man Inkspin said they should have to earn the right to come to your home in the first place, let alone bring laundry. So that's a tip for all you dudes out there, especially with my sister, right? Don't be bringing no laundry to my sister's house. You gotta get vetted first, right? We gotta vet you before you bring your hoodies.
Right, exactly.
It's not a game. You don't be dragging your laundry. Take that shit on down to the laundry mat somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that kind of leads into my next set of questioning for you.
Okay.
And it's kind of a 2-part. I know, I know that you get your expectations for marriage and relationships from our parents.
Exactly.
And our grandparents. And, you know, I think you get yours from me to a certain degree because you know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm very much like my father when it comes to
Yeah,
taking care of
right.
home and things of that nature. So that makes me want to talk about your relationship with our grandparents.
Okay.
Uh, our grandmother, she, God bless her soul, she passed away. Her name's Grandma Elnora
Right.
Bradley, in peace.
Mm-hmm.
And we called our grandfather Can. So if you
Right.
hear us say Can, right,
Yes,
we're talking
that's
about our
right.
grandfather. This is my father's parents.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that they were very near and dear to your heart. I know that you had a very special relationship with them. You were the first grandchild.
Indeed, I did.
So what I really just want I want to hear you talk about your relationship with them, what they meant to you, and what their passing, how their passing has affected you moving forward in life.
Okay, so okay, what can I say about that? So just like my brother said, I very, very dear. My grandparents were very, very, very dear to me. You know, I was the first granddaughter, so I think that as soon as I was 18 or 19 and able to drive, you know, shoot, I would probably go down there with them at least maybe once a month. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Down in it's a small place called Nathalie, Virginia, or whatever. And you know, I always kind of looked up to my grandparents. You know what I'm saying? I really looked up to them. I've always wanted the type of relationship where, you know, I've always wanted a very traditional, basic relationship, and I think it's in due part. It's definitely in part due to, you know, my grandparents. You know, I've always wanted the relationship where, you know, on Saturdays, you know, my husband, he might be out working in the yard or, you know, cutting the grass or something or whatever, and I may be in the kitchen cooking dinner or cooking a meal or something like that, and I look out the window to check on him to make sure he's okay. You know what I'm saying? Come in the house, you know, might go outside and tell him, you know, baby, come on in and get something to eat or whatever. Um, so my views on dating are very, very, they're very, very traditional. I'm not one of these modern women, you know, who think that I definitely believe in gender roles. Um, you know,
You went Kevin Samuels on me for a minute.
yeah, I definitely believe in gender roles. I believe that the man is the head of household.
Okay.
Um, I believe that the man is the one to make the final decisions. You know what I'm saying? Of course, with the consultation from his wife. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I lost.
Ships as the president of the United States in his cabinets. In his cabinet,
Mm-hmm.
they advise him, and then he goes out there and he makes the final decision. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't really. I grew up, you know, going to church on occasions or whatever. But that's just something that I've always believed in. I've always, and I must say this also. I believe in gender roles, but I believe that a man has to earn that respect in order to be able to make those final decisions. You know what I'm saying?
How does a man earn that respect? What does a man do to earn the respect to be able to lead
He shows that
a woman or you?
he shows that he's going to provide, you know, shows that he's going to provide. And I don't just necessarily mean monetarily, you know, I mean, you know what I'm saying? If something's going on with the kids or whatever, they come home, they talk about it. You know what I'm saying? He disciplines the kids or whatever. Now, you know, my mom, she was not a big disciplinary. My mom would be like, you know, we would laugh at my mom if
Her
she
hand
didn't
get to
even,
shaking their lip with the
yeah, and she'd be like, you wait, I'm gonna tell Olive. We'd be like, no, you know.
no, don't tell that ass.
And
Please, God, no.
I'm a huge believer in gender roles as far as relationships go. Um, I just am. You know what I'm saying? You know, I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? But I think that, you know, I think that that's what's missing in a lot of today's marriages. You know, I think that everybody wants, and I'm going to put it in these terms, everybody wants to be the chief and no one wants to be the Indian.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's what's made a lot of relationships problematic.
I think everybody wants to wear the pants, but it's really only one set of pants.
Yeah, everybody wants to wear the pants. I mean, I don't look for y'all. Just to let you guys know, I don't want to wear the pants. You know what I'm saying? It's so funny because, you know, it was so funny because, you know, growing up, I grew up, my dad was strict. You know what I'm saying? I never went on my first date until I was 19 years old. I was 19. Seriously. And I thought the whole time, I'm like, okay, well, oh my God, my dad used to get on my nerves, you know what I'm saying? The whole time I found out later on, my mom, she was the one regulating the shit. She was like,
Oh, I
Alan.
didn't know that.
Yeah, mom was the one. Mom would be like, Alan, well, I don't think she should do that. I don't think she'd do that. And so my dad, he would play the good cop, bad cop. All right,
Right.
well, I'm not worried about her getting mad at me. I tell her, I'm not worried about it. And my mom, she would sit back and look sweet and innocent, like she never had anything to say about it.
So she was the fake good cop.
She was the fake good cop. She was
I didn't know that. I'm gonna ask. It's funny. She called me right before this. Well, he FaceTimed me right before. He was like, "What you doing with a suit and tie on?" You know how we talk, right? And I'm like, yeah, I'm interviewing Shenae tonight, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna wear my Sunday's best. He, you know how he was. He get to laughing. He like, I'm gonna pay you back for that bull ride, like, cuz it's your birthday. It's cool. Like, stop trying to see. I'm like, leave me alone. Stop harassing me, yo.
Right.
Leave me alone, Joe.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So you get that from your grandparents. So that kind of moves me into my next question for you, right?
Okay.
I think this would be fun for you.
Okay, gotcha.
Who is your celebrity crush?
I'll be sure.
I'll be sure. It's still I'll be sure.
Young. I've been in love with Albie since I was like 6, 7.
You want to get off when you roll, girl.
Albie is the man.
Girl,
I have had a crush on Albie forever. Now, Albie, for those of you guys that don't know me, Linda, you probably know this if you're watching. Hey, Keena girl. Linda, if you're watching, my coworkers, they get a kick out of me. I love big men. I like tall guys. I like tall, big football type dudes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Albie lost weight. I was brokenhearted, bro.
You know who I thought you were gonna say?
Who?
I thought you were gonna say forgive me if I get his name wrong. Jason Momoa.
Oh God.
The dude from Aquaman. Cause it seemed like you be like, you seen the new Jason Momoa? Like, cuz I don't really watch a lot of movies. You know what I'm saying? 2 kids who control the TV. I got another one that that doesn't live with me, but it's like I don't really get a chance to sit down and watch TV. Wally Kazan was popping.
I love Jason, but I didn't grow up with Jason. I grew up with Albie. Killing me softly. Oh my goodness. If I could have Albie today, I would marry him.
I'll be sure if you happen to see this video later on, I know you're not watching it live right now. She loves you.
I love Albie. Albie lost a little weight, and I understand it was because of his health, but that's all right. I can work with that.
Right. right. You make it work.
I can definitely make it work.
Albie used to be the pretty boy.
Yeah, he was.
All the women, but you know what was cool about Albie though?
What?
You know how when we came up in the 80s and 90s, the women would like the pretty boys, and the dudes would kind of borderline hate on him.
Right.
Albie was one of them dudes who everybody loved.
Everybody loved
He
Albie.
was just a cool dude. He had the sunglasses on. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody kind of wanted to be like Albie. Albie
was the cool uncle that you see riding by in his nice car with his shades on.
He remind me of Fist.
Yeah, he does.
Uncle Fist. He was real laid back, real cool, real chill. So, who's your top 5 rappers of all time?
Oh my God, I can easily give you that. So, of course, I'm gonna say, of course, like we grew up in the 90s. So definitely Biggie and Pop. But of the more modern rappers, I would say definitely Rick Ross. I love Rick Ross.
What is it? Okay, so you got Biggie, Pac, Ross. I want to pause right there.
Okay.
What is it? I think Biggie and Pac is kind of self-explanatory. Right. So we don't have to really go deep into that. What is it about Rick Ross that puts him in your top 5?
Cadence. Cadence. The way his delivery.
Ross.
I mean, Ross make you feel like you can. I'm gonna push it to the limit, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Ross have you changing lanes and shit. On the highway. I love Rick Ross. Well, Rick Ross is definitely one of my favorites. I love Lil' Kim.
Lil' Kim. So you got Big, Pac, Ross, Lil' Kim.
Lil' Kim.
Okay, and who's your last?
I like Jay, but Jay is commercial.
Jay-Z.
And I want to think of somebody that's not really. I want to think of somebody that's not so commercial. I like Wayne. I like
Wayne?
Wayne. I
You
like
like
Wayne.
Wayne?
I like Wayne.
Wayne is very, very talented.
Right.
Extremely
I like
talented.
Wayne
You know
a
what I'm
lot.
saying? Like Wayne is one of those rappers or artists that you will just be listening to him, and you listen to, like, you can hear the song 50 million times, and then one day you're not really paying attention. You're like, Wayne said, like, yo, that's crazy.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you another rapper who I just recently, it's so sad, and I really hate this. Two of the newer rappers that I really like, and I've been listening to them and I think that they really would have been stars, even like during the, the Biggie and Pop era too. Really like Nipsey Hussle.
Okay.
Nipsey is good. Nipsey was a really, really smart guy.
We're doing
really
honorable mentions.
Yeah, like Nipsey Hussle, and I love Pop Smoke's voice.
He's like new 50, right? I didn't even get a chance. By the time I heard about it, he had passed away. But then I kind of listened to some of his stuff, and I was like, oh, like he was gonna be legit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? He was
definitely gonna be legit. And J. Cole is another one. I really like him too.
Cole World. Cole coming to DC soon.
Oh, really? You saw him before, right?
Yeah. So we saw Cole at Royal Farms Arena a couple years ago. He was doing the For Your Eyes Only. Okay. And that was actually my first concert that I had ever been to. And let me tell you something about Cole live. J. Cole live is one of the most impressive natural performances that you will see. Cole stood on that stage the whole time and did every single song from the album, plus his hits.
Every song from the album?
Every song from the For Your Eyes Only album.
Okay.
By himself, right? The only person he had on stage with him, he had a female on stage with him on one of the songs that's on For Your Eyes Only. The rest of the time, Cole rapped every single lyric. And I was just like, wow.
Right. I remember you telling me that.
Cole is the truth, man. Live, he's the truth.
Oh, and I can't forget, and I love him. I mean, sometimes I'll be sitting around here, Beanie Siegel.
Oh, yeah.
Beans.
Siegel get it from together.
Beans is the man. Beans ain't got no cut cards.
Yeah. Beans. I think Beans, right? I thought that Beans was going to be larger than life in terms of his reach. But I think that Beans was just who he was.
Yeah, Beans was just who he was. Beans is like, look, I don't think Beans had that celebrity mentality in order.
Beans was real. Beans, I think the Beans that you got, I think a lot of artists that you get on record aren't who they really are, and I think Beans is who he really is on the record, and I think that was his gift and his curse.
Right.
Yeah, cool. Let's talk
what
about
else you got me. What else you got for me?
So we had our little pre-talk, got certain things we wanted to touch on.
Okay.
We can either go religion or we can go police. I'll leave it up to you.
Let's go religion.
Okay. Tell me about your beliefs. Tell me about, are you religious? Are you spiritual? Are you atheist? What are your beliefs?
Well, I'm definitely not an atheist. I grew up Southern Baptist. We didn't go to church every Sunday, but there were plenty of Sundays where we did go to church because we were visiting my grandparents down in Virginia, and that was just something that was something you did on Sundays. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You went to church, you came home, you ate. Your uncles, they went out in the backyard because there was a basketball court in my parents' backyard, and they played basketball. The women stayed in the house and talked and washed dishes, and that's basically how it was. I would definitely consider myself a Christian or whatever. I was definitely consider myself a Christian. However, and I know I'm going to get some slack for this. I don't believe what the Bible says word for word. I think that a lot of those, I think that the Bible is a guide to how you're supposed to live. I think that it's composed of a number of different, I wouldn't really say stories, because I do believe that a lot of the things that are in the Bible are word for word or whatever. But I think that the Bible is a guide as to, and it has the stories of how we're supposed to treat each other as human beings.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, that being said, how well do you think we are meeting those expectations in today's
Terribly.
society? It's
Terribly.
terrible.
Terribly.
Mm,
Terribly. I think that, and this is another thing, and I'm probably gonna get flack, for saying this, because I'm definitely one that believes, we love who we love, and all of that or whatever. Love is always a good thing or whatever. I'm kind of on the, it may be because of the way I grew up, or just my beliefs or whatever. I have a hard time with the whole, I was born a man with the
mm,
anatomy that I'm born with.
mm.
Later on in life, I can choose to identify as a woman, and vice versa. That's something that I really, really have a hard time with. You know what I'm saying? And so, I'm still on the fence with that, but that's just something that I just don't believe. I think that you are born as you are. As you grow up, you can decide who you love, and everything like that. But yeah, that's something that I feel pretty strongly about.
So it sounds like you're saying you don't necessarily believe that gender is something that can just be chosen. You think
No,
it's
I don't.
that's
I do not.
assigned by God
No,
or higher power.
no, I don't. Absolutely not. I think that you are born as you are.
Okay, do you think that the a governing body should dictate what you should have to call someone? You understand the question?
So your question to me is, if do I think the government should dictate? Well, I don't particularly think that the government should dictate it, but I think if you were born with a penis, you're a guy, and if you're born with a vagina, you're a woman. As
Okay,
simple as
yeah,
that.
I got that. I understand what you're saying there, but
Okay.
my question is really based on legislation, right?
Okay.
So if you had someone who was born with male genitalia,
Okay.
who now identifies as a woman,
Right.
and someone calls we'll say that person likes to be called she or her,
Okay.
and say their supervisor or
Mm-hmm.
someone on the street, I guess, calls them he or him.
I don't think there should be any
Should
repercussions for that.
should um that person be, I don't know, charged, or
No,
should they be able to be sued?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so that's and you have that. You're saying that belief comes from your religious belief, your religious
Well, I
background.
wouldn't say it was. I wouldn't even say that it was a religious belief. I would just say that it was. I don't know. Maybe because that's just always what I was taught. Whether
Right.
it be in school, whether it be in religion, or what. Yeah.
Okay. Well, cool. That's, hey, we all have
Yeah.
our
And
opinions. That's what
we
that's what
do.
this show is about. It's about me getting the opportunity to
Right.
talk to people that I know and don't know, and see what their opinions are on different things.
Mm-hmm. So give me another one.
Should the police be defunded?
I don't think so. And
Why not?
I must say this to you. I gotta say this to you, as I'm not saying this just because my brother is a police officer. You know what I'm saying? I think that I definitely think that I think that there are some major.
You reading the comments?
Yeah, I'm reading
So
Superman.
someone said, call that person what they want.
But
But if
if
that's
that's
the
the
case, then
case,
lock up the
then lock up
Klan.
the
And
Klan.
I think that's a reference to kind of like free speech. It's saying, like, if the Klan can call black people or people they dislike all type of racial epithets and things of
Okay.
that nature. Oh, he's saying no. Then, okay, well, maybe he can explain it better, because he's saying no in the comments. He or she is saying no.
Hey, boo.
Who you waving?
Superman, Jesus, Tom Cruise.
Oh, you know who that is?
I do. I do.
Oh, if
Actually,
you know,
one of my favorite people on here.
Oh, does he? He could get in on the conversation. He's more than welcome to get in on the conversation because I don't, I'm just trying to figure out what it is because I'm reading text. And, text is different or whatever.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if he wants to join in, if you want to join, just if you can send a request to join or you want to speak your piece, you're more than welcome.
We would love to have you on.
Well, we'd love to have you on for a couple minutes.
What did he say? No.
Oh, he said,
no
I'm sorry.
To
okay. He's saying no to defunding.
Okay,
I got it. I apologize. He's saying no to defunding. So we can move. So we can move on. You were saying that the police should not be defunded. Carry on.
I don't think so. I think that, oh my goodness, we would definitely. Now, I definitely think there are some crooked cops out here. Don't ever get that twisted. You know what I'm saying? I think that a lot of the cops have terrorized, Black people in particular for ages. I look back at, the civil rights movement. You know what I'm saying? When you see a lot of those people or whatever, Black people, they're, being sprayed with those water hoses and things like that. But I couldn't imagine defunding the police and then like the turmoil that we would be in. You know what I'm saying? Oh, hey!
Welcome to the show. This is Superman Jesus Tom Cruise. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did, sir.
Okay, cool. So, first of all, let me apologize. I think where we're at in terms of the stream and the comments are a bit off. But you were saying no to defunding the police. So, and you also chimed in on the pronouns and the clan thing too. So, the floor is yours. You got a couple of minutes. Let us know what your thoughts and your opinions, and go.
Well, thank you for letting me join. First of all, if he or she identified with what they identify with, then that's their prerogative. What I have a problem with, and I think I don't have any children, by the way, but I think fathers and mothers as well have a problem with it. If you have a male that identifies as a female and they don't have a sex change and they still have a genitalia and they go into a female bathroom, I have a problem with that. Because you still have a male part. Now, if you didn't have a male part, okay, then cool. And as far as defunding the police, I have a mother, I have sisters, for whoever do whatever they do, that's on them, but you need law and order. And police need everything they need to equip themselves to deal with whatever they need to deal with, period.
Right. So. Okay, cool. So there you go. Shenae, did you have anything else on defunding the police before I give my opinion?
I think I gave my opinion pretty well.
Okay, so anybody who knows me personally, I'm a cop. I've been a cop for 13 going on 14 years. I think defunding the police is a bad idea. I think it has major consequences and repercussions, specifically on low-income communities, because that's where a lot of the violent crime happens. I understand that the relationship between the police and the community, specifically the Black community, historically hasn't been great, but I think that it has improved substantially if you look at it over the course of the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and moving forward. And I think that when you defund, one of the things that defunding the police does, or even using defund the police as a political weapon to gain power, what it does is it demoralizes police officers. Whether you end up defunding the police officers or not, what happens is police officers get demoralized because they're humans like everyone else. So if you were to put yourself in a position to where a whole group of people were advocating for your job to be defunded, you would be like, hold up, pump the brakes.
Right.
Hold fast. Yeah. I know that one guy over there did something. I know Tom from the 8th floor did something crazy, and we think he should be persecuted and prosecuted too. However, you cannot expect me to come in here and do my job the way it's supposed to be done and needed to be done when you have just demonized me and the other 99% of us who do the right thing day in and day out. But when you do the right thing as an officer, it's rarely the news. Negativity sells, not positivity.
Right.
And so I think, I think that also leads into another aspect of the way humans classify things. What we like to do is we like to take the the minority and apply the thinking that to the minority to the majority. And I think that's something that we as humans, we have to get away from. We have to be able to pluck out the ones who need to be plucked out and show the appreciation for those who do the things that are supposed to be done.
Right.
So that's my spiel on defunding the police. I know the show's not about me, but I'm a police officer, so it's a trigger for me. I had to jump in and be like, "Hey, hold fast! Don't I got kids. I protect the old ladies, you know."
Well, look, we need y'all, and I appreciate your service. I have to go to work. I'm actually sitting in my car about to go to work, so I have to go to work. But I saw that you guys are live, and I do know her, so I was like, you know what? Let me see what the topic is about, because this is refreshing and new. I didn't know that you host a show.
Yeah,
so every Friday.
I started 3 weeks ago.
No, we actually just my brother called me and it was like, you know, Shenae, I want to interview you or whatever. So he was like, okay, so let's do it Friday night at 7:00. So I'm like, you want to interview me? Why would you want to interview me? And so you know that I always tell you, I'm like, okay, so my brother and I, we had these conversations or whatever. And so I appreciate you joining. I really do.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I mean, because we need more platforms. You know what I mean? We need more platforms. Because, I mean, if Rush Limbaugh can do it and get 200 or 300 million, I don't see why this brother can't get it. Right. But you know what I mean? But it got to start from. You got to start a spot.
Yeah.
So, so I mean, when is the days? Like, when are you going? Like, is it every day or?
Nah. So typically, it'll be Friday night.
Okay.
I'll try, to work around different people's schedules. So, appreciate it, my man, Red Mountain Resale. Y'all check him out. If you want to get on the show, you're more than welcome. My show is basically about interviewing everyday people, and talking to them and learning about them and getting different perspectives. So whatever time, if you want to jump on with me, you can follow me, send me a DM. And we could set it up, and you know, if it has to be a Monday morning or whatever, I'll be half asleep, just got off work, and I, be like, yo, what you think about this?
Okay, I appreciate that, man. I will do that. I'm gonna get your information, man, and like I said, I gotta go ahead and make the donuts, but I make sure y'all get y'all. I'm up at Amazon, so I make sure y'all get y'all packages, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, hold on, make sure I get my packages. We appreciate you stepping in. We appreciate you stepping in, brother. Go ahead, do your thing, do your work thing, make that bread, and hit me up, and we'll definitely sit down and we'll do the same thing me and my sister doing right here.
Yeah.
No question, man. You got it, man.
All right, be safe, bro. I don't know how to log you off, so you might have to do it.
I got you. I got you.
All right, appreciate it.
God bless, man. God bless.
Bless you too.
Sure. So, was there anything? Oh, so I did want to ask you. You don't think the police should be defunded? I think we agree on that. I think they did polls. Most Black people don't think the police should be defunded. So I don't know where this idea came from.
I don't either.
But I want to ask you, how can the police and the community alike improve the community at large and the relationship between the police and the community?
I think that we have to find some type of platform where there is some type of communication between the two. And I'm not big on a whole bunch of movies and stuff, because most of the time, I'm up, I'm going to the kitchen, I'm trying to do this and do that or whatever. But I thought that a movie that did a really, really good example of the dialogue that's needed between the police and the community was American Skin.
Okay, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, so American Skin did a really, really good job of, it basically, it had the two groups. It had the police there, and it had the families of the victim there, and they were in a situation where they were forced. They were at this police station, and they were forced to talk about the things that bothered them. The cops talked about how, for example, they were scared. The guy was scared, and so that's why he was so quick to act.
Right.
When he shouldn't have been. And these are just things that we just don't know, because each side doesn't know what the other one is going through or whatever.
Right.
And so if you get a chance, I would definitely suggest. Hi, baby. Hi, Libby Pooh.
Hi.
Hey, Squirm.
Hey, baby.
So before you go, everyone who's watching, this is my middle child, Libby, and she's showing you my 1-year-old.
Hey,
Ben. Shout out to Jiggy Jalen doing her thing.
Sweetie.
Libby, hey, Libby.
Yeah.
So you get one question for Auntie, and then we move on. What do you want to ask Auntie?
What do you want to ask your aunt?
I want to ask.
These silly twos don't have to take the win.
I have no idea, but I love making brownies with her. I like making desserts with her, and we always lick the chocolate.
Yeah, we definitely always.
So Libby's tip, right, is when you make brownies, you always lick the chocolate.
You always have to lick the chocolate. And it's so funny because Libby and I'll be upstairs or whatever, and we'll get ready. We'll be making brownies or whatever, and my mom she'll always be like, "How come you and Libby never eat like the cupcakes and the brownies and stuff that you make?" And it's because Libby and I have ate so much chocolate and so much batter before we even before the food is done. But yeah, we love cooking together. That's my baby right there. I'll be there this weekend, girl.
I'm sure you will. We appreciate you stopping in, Libby.
Hey.
Hi, Lil.
Hey.
You getting on camera, Lil?
No.
Come on, Lil.
Hey, how are you?
Okay. So I got to get to my last question. Bye, baby.
Bye.
Mwah. Libby, if you're still watching, Melissa said you and Fan are gorgeous. She said, Libby, you are beautiful. So, and I talked to Jalen earlier today. She called me. She said the school didn't send me my yearbook, so I had to check the email and find out because I paid for the yearbook and all that.
Okay.
Girls, man, daughters. I got 3 of them.
Can you guys believe that?
3 of them. I got this running joke in my house. I'll be like, I'm gonna get me a pet wolf. Just walking around and they be. You're welcome, Libby. So the last question is I want you to tell me 5 people that you would like to have a sit-down conversation with. They can be dead or alive.
Okay.
They can be famous or not famous. And they don't even have to be someone from real life. They could be someone who's a fictional character. Okay. Right? Mm-hmm. So give me your 5 people. We may stop in between to discuss certain ones.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ, okay.
Gandhi.
Mahatma Gandhi, okay.
Gandhi. Surprisingly enough, and it's crazy because you guys aren't going to believe this, but I love Bill Clinton, I love Obama, but I didn't really start to like him until after he was the president. I would love to sit down and have a conversation with George W. Bush.
Baby Bush.
I really would, yeah, the little Bush. I would love to have a conversation with
George.
Okay.
Right? Let's pause there. So let's recap. We got Jesus, we got Gandhi.
George W. Bush.
We got George Weezy W. I think he was.
No, just George H.W. was the dad. George W.
We'll call for the purposes of this conversation, we'll call him Baby Bush.
Baby Bush.
What is it about Baby Bush that makes you want to talk to him?
I don't think that Baby Bush portrayed to the world what everyone wanted him to portray to the world.
Okay, so you don't think that the him that we got
was the real him?
Was the real him? Okay, Melissa is asking. I need to know the why. There may be a delay, but I'm asking her why now. And
right.
Basically,
yeah. I don't get that. I just don't get. I think that a lot of the advisors and things. I think that to me, he was heavily influenced by the world. And I would love to sit down and have a conversation with him about what he really personally thinks and what his beliefs really are.
Well, you know, during his presidency and up until this day, there are people who say that Dick Cheney was actually the one
Right.
pulling the strings.
Yes.
I haven't dug into, you know me, I'm into politics now. I wasn't
Right.
into it then.
Right.
So I don't really know, what the particulars were back then.
Okay.
But okay, cool. Baby Bush. So Jesus Gandhi, Baby Bush, because
Baby
you
Bush.
would like to know the real him. Who's number 4?
My dad.
Dede?
My dad.
You talk to Daddy all the time.
I know, but I've never really actually sat down and actually thought, actually, because, my dad is one of those people where he's just like, he just really doesn't go into depth about his beliefs. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, so my dad would definitely be one of them.
Okay, let's stop there because this is for me.
Okay.
I want to know because I told him when he called me at 6:50.
Okay.
And I was talking to Mon too, and I said I'm interviewing both of y'all. I said it probably won't be on Instagram Live. I'll probably have my cameras and stuff set up.
Right.
But if you could just give me 1 or 2 questions that you want to ask him or talk to him about that you haven't, because y'all tight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we are.
Tight, so we pretty much can ask whatever we want, right? And get a response. What is it that you would want to ask him?
What can I date till I was 19?
Well, you can do one thing. You can do one thing for me. Make sure I'm there when it happens. I have my phone try to get the camera because I want to see. I'm dying to see what he would say about that. Okay, who's your last person?
So it would be. I would say, one thing, and this is so the other person would probably be my mom. My mom is a lot less vocal than my dad, and she's one of those people that doesn't always share what it exactly is that she's thinking. I'm more, and I don't know whether those of you that know me and my brother, I think that as far as personality goes, I'm Alan Bradley's daughter. I'm a carbon copy of my dad. You know what I'm saying? And, he probably knows me better than anybody else because he knows how his mind thinks or whatever. And you are like mom, when my close friends or whatever, people I get to meet or whatever, I always tell them that, my mom, my brother is my mom. My brother has my mom's personality. They take a little bit longer to warm up to, you know what I'm saying? They kind of got to get to know you and fill you out in order to start trusting you or whatever. My dad and I are more like, okay, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt. We'll trust you from the beginning or whatever. But if you screw with us or whatever, that's it. It's done.
Yeah, so y'all cool. Y'all cool with people from the jump. Me and mom be like,
no. Right.
We'll see how this thing plays out.
And so it's so funny because Libby is more, Libby is also more, hey, how you doing or whatever. And then Sweet Pea is more like you. Sweet Pea has to warm up to you. And then Finn has to warm up to you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Finn will be warm to you and still be like, don't touch me.
Right. Yeah. Finn gonna be like,
he'll be like, hi.
Yeah, I saw you yesterday, but I don't know if I'm messing with you today or like that. Yeah. Right.
Okay, so let's recap. You got Gandhi, Jesus, Baby Bush, on Dede. Okay, we got about 5 minutes left. I had something that I wanted to ask you in terms of childhood. What's your favorite memory of our siblingship in terms of when we were really young?
Okay, what is my favorite memory?
Well, one of them, something, a memory that you have that's near and dear to you. You don't have to rank it.
Yeah, okay, so we have a couple of memories or whatever.
Come on, when I stole the light skinned biscuit.
Oh my God! Please tell that story. Go ahead and tell that story, Cello.
I got 2 stories I want to tell. Then we're gonna get out of here. You know what I'm saying? My father here went to Popeyes. I don't eat Popeyes now.
I went to Popeyes last night and was mad because they didn't have what I wanted.
And I don't remember. I think maybe me and Shenae were both upstairs. I knew that my father came in before she did, so I crept downstairs. And you know how Popeyes, like, on a good day, all of them are light-skinned biscuits, right? But on a bad day, like, one of them's a light skinned biscuit, you know. Well, I crept down there, got that light skinned biscuit. And she, when I tell you, bro, she was mad. She was mad that I got the light skinned biscuit. And my father was like, he was laughing. He was like, look at those shot dog. He come around the corner to get the light skinned biscuit and then go on back upstairs. And Shenae, I mean, we wasn't young though. We were grown.
Right.
We was grown, but
you know, real grown, like 20 something.
Yeah, we were older. Before we go, it's another story that I wanted to tell since I got you on. I'll try to make it quick too.
Okay.
I want to give you an option to ask me a question if you want to.
Okay.
I don't. My religious belief, I believe in a God. I believe all of us are aspects of that greater being.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to tell a story about a time that how 8 years, an incident that occurred 8 years prior led to me essentially saving my sister's life. Okay, so maybe about, I don't remember how long ago it was, maybe 8-9 years ago, my job gave us these radiological pagers. And the light skinned biscuit, yeah. Gave us these radiological pagers. I ended up putting the pager in the trunk of my car at the time. It was a Honda. Life goes on. I'm doing, we're living life. And just within the past, what was that, about a year ago?
About a year ago, right. It had to be what,
so June, it's in the trunk of my Honda.
June of 2020.
June of 2020. I had given my mother-in-law the Honda. She's been using it for a couple, 2-3 years or something like that. And my job's like, hey, we need that pager. We got to calibrate it. So me and Libby, we went to my mother-in-law's job to get the pager out the trunk. We got the pager out the trunk. We were on the way back home. On the way back home, Libby says, I really got to use the bathroom. So I'm like, well, Auntie Shenae is closer than our house. So let's go to, yeah, you remember them pages, yeah. So Libby's like, I got to pee. I got to pee. I said, okay, well, we'll stop by Auntie's house. But that wasn't the plan to go by Auntie's house. So we get to Auntie's house and we get to my sister's house, and I have a key. It's my old house, but the door was unlocked, which obviously is suspicious. I'm a cop. I'm like, something's not right. I go in the house and my sister is on the floor having a seizure. She's home alone. She's been home alone probably for a week or 3 or 4 days at that point. And I ran back to the bedroom. I got her pillow. She's seizing. I don't really know what to do, even though I'm a first responder.
Right.
I call. I'm like, okay, well, I got to call the medics. I call the medics. She was having a seizure. The medics ended up coming. She's here on the live with me. She's fine. I tell that story because had my job not given me the pager 8-9 years ago, it shows you how the very fact that my job gave me that pager is what led to a chain of events that led to me finding my sister home alone having a seizure. And so whether or not those pages are ever used for the purposes that they were, the higher purpose for those pages for me was for that pager to save my sister's life.
And it did. It did.
And so I think it's important that we trust the greater being, the universe, God, whatever name you put on it. Certain things happen in the moment that are leading to other things in the future, and sometimes we have to trust that. So that's my spiel on that. Do you have any questions for me?
Are you grilling out this weekend?
I don't know. I do have to work. I'm sure Crystal and
Crystal, you making seafood salad?
And Lil will. Actually, they're having dinner at Mama's house on Sunday, so you're more than welcome to come through. We'll have to. I'll get all the dates and time for you. I appreciate you sitting down with me.
This has been great.
We talk all the time.
We do.
Not so much in the interview setting. Me and my sister are very close. Lil said seafood Alfredo, so I'm sure.
Right. Sounds like a plan to me.
Crab egg rolls. We're not gonna read the whole menu.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
because then everybody's gonna want to come.
Yeah, everybody's gonna want to come. And Melissa's still on here, and I know she probably. Hey, wait a minute, you guys are cooking all this food. But I wanted to tell you that I appreciate you. You are the best big sister that I could have ever asked the creator for. I'm sure at the beginning you liked me more than I like you.
I always liked you from the
now I
moment you
think
were born. I mean,
now I think we like each other.
you had the softest hair. I mean,
I still do.
like, yeah, the hair that you have left. So, like, I used to rub your hair, and you know, so be so weird because my dad, you know, we grew up on Andrews Air Force Base or whatever, and my brother used to hate for me to try to kiss him or whatever. And at lunchtime, my dad would come home every day, and my brother would be crying because he would be like, "Oh my goodness, Shenae tried to kiss me again today." And so my dad would be like, "If you don't leave that boy alone, you won't get it or whatever." And so that's always been my dog, always been my bestie, always been my best friend.
Yeah, I was a sensitive kid. I'm still sensitive. I've gotten really good at mastering my emotions and my sensitivities and stuff like that. I wanted to tell you that I love you.
I love you too.
Appreciate you. And yo, hit me up. You know what I'm saying? You know, hit me up. We'll make sure we catch up on Sunday or Saturday or whatever. We still got people joining. I don't want Instagram to kick me off before the hour's up or when my hour's up. You know, so because I'm gonna put this on YouTube. They kicked me and Crystal off after about an hour. So what Dr. E and I did was we went on his live. If you want to continue the conversation, I'll close it out. And then I'll jump back on another live. And if you want to keep going, we can just keep going. But the
this has been great. I put this dress on specifically for y'all or whatever. I'm about to go put my little raggedy nightgown on or whatever and get comfortable. And I will talk to you offline. Probably tomorrow. Cool. Sometime. You got to work tonight?
No, I'm off tonight. So as soon as we get off here, I'm gonna call you. We're gonna laugh. We're gonna joke it up. Like I said, I think we don't tell each other enough as family. I'll tell you again. I love you. Everybody who tuned in, I appreciate y'all. We're gonna do this as much as possible. If you want to be interviewed and talk about your life and your perspectives, hit my DM, share this video, all of that good stuff. We appreciate y'all. We out.